Masters of the Temple, Book 1, The Gemini Project by JLGray. Introduction. A mountain priest from central China and the son of a South Korean general meet at a top-ranked technical university in Beijing, where they discover they have a special bond created by ancient powers of the old blood that begins to emerge and grow with the assistance of the spirits of the old masters and a hacked spy satellite as they are drawn into strange circumstances surrounding the university and its secretive president. They soon become the university president's own personal investigators, working together to solve mysterious events at the university while exploring each other's hidden secrets and strengthening their growing bond and unusual abilities. Chapter 1. Getting to know you. It's a hot and humid early June day at the Beijing Institute of Advanced Technologies, a private university where China's next generation of top scientists in areas including aerospace, quantum physics, and artificial intelligence are trained. Only the top 20 students that apply and take this strenuous entrance exam are offered admittance to the institute. Today is arrival day, the day all the new students arrive on campus for introductions and dormitory assignments. This year, all 20 students are male. 18 of these students recently graduated from high school, and 2 are 21 years old as they enter their first year of college. In a small amphitheater-type classroom that seats up to 50 students, the new arrivals are relaxing around their luggage and personal belongings, with a few having quiet discussions with each other. One student seems apart from the others, choosing to sit in a single chair close to the front row, but on the floor just away from the stadium-type seating used by the students. He is very casually dressed in no particular brand of clothes. He's wearing older jeans and an old Madonna concert t-shirt and what looks like mountain or hiking boots. He has one beat-up piece of luggage and a stuffed backpack at his feet. He is unidentifiable as regards to his race. He could be Asian or Latino in origin, a light skin tone, but not as pale as you see in the Chinese or Japanese kids today that try to avoid any sun darkening of their skin. He has a handsome but not pretty face. His dark hair is not completely straight and covers the upper parts of his ears and obscures his piercing dark gray eyes. His arms and chest are well developed, like you would expect to see in a day laborer, at least what can be seen from his tight t-shirt. He wears no jewelry, not even a watch, but has a thin leather thong around his neck that disappears under the opening of his t-shirt. He is as still and quiet as a mouse, but his eyes are curiously searching and scanning the other students like a hawk hunting for a rabbit. He finds the person he is looking for in the second row in the seat next to the central aisle. He has never met this young man, but he is the main reason he is here. A Korean with a face almost as pretty as a K-pop boy singer, but with the eyes of an older wise man. His dark hair is short on the sides, but the front is longer and drapes down across his brow. The Korean has an aura that reminds him of the sun, bright but not blinding, and it is flushed with emotion. They make eye contact for a fraction of a moment, and the Korean's aura flares a bit, but the young man suddenly looks away and his aura quickly dampened to a pleasant soft glow as if nothing had happened. Two people, a young man that looks to be in his early 20s and an older woman with thick glasses and dressed like she lives in a science lab, walk into the center of the room and stand next to the professor's podium and desk. After getting everyone's attention, they introduce themselves. The young man is a senior student in computer design and function, and the older woman is the director of the undergraduate physics lab. She motioned for the senior student to step forward and announce that the next hour would be dedicated to each new student coming forward and introducing themselves. In that introduction, in addition to their name, each student should disclose where they are from, high school studies, sports, likes and dislikes, their future plans, and why they chose to come to this institution. After introductions, dormitory room and roommate assignments would be handed out. The class would then be dismissed to set up their dorm rooms and get to know their roommates. The lab director points to a young man at the back of the class to step forward and begin his introduction. The senior student moves to a chair close to the door, and the lab director exits the classroom. Introductions proceed normally, with many of the students disclosing how influential or wealthy their families are, several wanting to be the next Nobel Prize winner in the fields of physics or computing, or wanting to design the next deep space probe to search for alien life. Each student received polite applause after their introduction. The guy in the Madonna shirt was only paying polite attention during each introduction. He knew a lot about these students. He had already hacked the school's student personal files that included their academic history, family background, and their acceptance test scores. He just wanted this boring session to end so that he could privately speak to the Korean. Suddenly, he heard a whisper intentionally loud enough for the entire class to hear. Something about a damn Korean. He looked up to see the Korean student making his way to the center of the class to give his introduction. They once again made eye contact, but this time he only saw what seemed to be a quiet anger in the Korean's aura. It was obvious that he was a bit of an introvert, uncomfortable, and had heard the slur. The Korean turned to the class and said, "My name is Young-Jun. I'm 21 years old, and I am from Korea." Before he could continue with his introduction, one of the guys in the back row shouted out, "Young? Doesn't that mean brave? You don't look very brave. Why are you here? This is a university for future Chinese scientists, not Korean. How can you even be allowed in this university?" Several students around him started nodding their heads and verbalizing their agreements. The Korean seemed stunned by the outburst, and his face appeared to be on fire with the redness of embarrassment and anger. Before he could say anything, and before the senior seated at the door could stand, the stranger in the Madonna shirt stood and demanded the room to be silent. The power in his voice turned all heads to him. As he took the few steps to the center of the room, he laid a calming hand on the Korean's arm and quietly told him in Korean, "Stand tall and proud, my friend, but do not interrupt me. I need to speak." Young-Jun briefly looked into the stranger's eyes and then slightly tilted his head in agreement. Facing the other students, the stranger stared up at each one for just a moment before he began sternly in a professor's tone of instruction. "Each of you have given your introductions and were respectfully received, but before this man can even tell you his story, you attack him because he is Korean. You know nothing about him. He scans the room with those piercing dark gray eyes. So let me tell you what I know about him and what I know about you." He makes a sweeping motion with his right hand, indicating the entire class. Without looking back at Young-Jun, he begins the lecture. Young-Jun comes from an old Korean family that has occupied positions from key business owners, university professors, and even generals in the military, as his father currently is. Once again, the guy in the back row yells out, "But this university is for the top Chinese students. How can he even be considered for placement here? He is Korean." It's at this time the university president, Dr. Ho Longwei, arrives at the door of the classroom but does not enter. He decides to observe from a distance how the class will resolve this problem. He had been expecting this issue since the day he approved Young-Jun's application to the university. He is surprised to see the stranger coming to Young-Jun's defense, but at the same time he is curious where this will lead. Without faltering, the stranger continues, "Let me tell you why he is here. He can speak, read, and write 8 different languages. Since the age of 17, he has published 3 research papers in 3 different countries. I have seen all your personal files. All of you are top students in various disciplines in science and math." The group begins to verbally complain about his intrusion into their personal files. He shuts them up by yelling out, "How many of you can speak another language fluently?" There is silence. I will tell you how many. You all took English or French or Japanese throughout your high school years, but none of you are fluent in any other languages other than Chinese. He stares at them in defiance. No one objects to his insult. This Korean, as you want to call him, has also completed 2 years of military service after high school, as required by law in his country. The last 2 years of high school and his 2 years in the military, he studied Chinese not just to speak it, but to read it, so that he could take the entrance exam. Not only did he pass that exam, but he scored the 2nd highest score in the history of this university. That is why he is here. Not only is he your senior in age, but he is your academic senior. You will show him respect. He only quickly glanced back at Young-Jun to see absolute puzzlement on his face, but he remained standing proudly. Again, the guy in the back row yells out, "Who are you? Why are you here? And how dare you lecture us?" Many of the students start voicing their agreement. The stranger in the Madonna shirt just looks at them and says, "Yes, who am I? So, I will now tell you my story. I'm a nobody. I don't know who I am. I was a bastard child, and as an infant was left in a box of straw on the steps of a mountain temple. The monks found me there early in the morning before dawn, quietly waiting for them. There was no note or any other identifying information to tell them who I was or where I came from. No one in the local village wanted me, so the priests of the temple took me in and raised me. Since I was found on their holy mountain, they gave me the family name of Shan. They say I was first seen in my bed of straw, quietly peering up at the full moon. They named me Yueying, the moon shadow. So, my name is Shan Yueying. He glanced around at the stunned looks on everyone's face. He quietly continued with his story. Our temple is an old sect that has a history of over 500 years. We have become a modern temple that provides cyber and corporate electronic security for governments and corporations around the world. We have no classrooms for the young men whose families send them to the temple for training. Education is conducted by the older masters, and as the students progress in their training, they perform various jobs within the temple's area of expertise. Electronic security. He scans the faces of the other students, takes a deep breath, and continues. Our temple is closed to outsiders. All the work we do around the world is only done remotely. The services we provide are usually kept secret from any outsiders unless referred to us by reliable sources. Some of those sources have dealt with our temple for over 100 years. Someone said, 100 years? How can that be? There is no need for electronic security back then. Reluctantly, Yueying looked up and said, we provided a more barbaric form of security. Students started whispering among themselves, and Yueying could overhear the word assassins a few times. Yueying takes a momentary pause that seems to last for an hour, but only a few seconds pass. In that time, his mind flashes back to his last day in the temple, his argument with his old master, and his ultimate expulsion from the temple. Coming back to himself, he softly says, unlike all of you who will be going home to your loved ones and family on holidays from school, I will never again get to see the men who raised me, trained me, and cared for me. I can never return to the temple. Why not? Someone yells out. I am the youngest in my temple ever to achieve the rank of master. Once you become a master, you are never permitted to leave the temple grounds again, not even to the local village. Even though I spent my entire life of 21 years in the temple and loved by my masters, I was unhappy and desired to search out my purpose on this earth. I fought with my old master and gave him no option but to strip me of my accomplishments and expel me from the temple. That is why I am a nobody. The senior student, who was now standing beside his chair, asked, why did you leave your home? Why are you here? I'm searching for someone. Who are you searching for? Myself. From the back of the room, someone yells out, I don't care why you left, and I don't care who you're searching for. You have no formal education. How in the hell did you get into this university? And how can you know so much about us? He waves his hand, pointing at the rest of the group. Dr. Ho, the university president, decides that this will be the perfect time to make his entrance. Stepping through the open door of the classroom, he announces, I'm Dr. Ho, the university president, and I can answer that question. Suddenly, the entire class rises to their feet in attention. All eyes are focused on Dr. Ho. Mr. Shan was admitted to this university because he scored the highest score on the entrance exam in the history of this university. So Mr. Shan and Mr. Yong are both your seniors in age and academics, and you will treat them with respect accordingly. He sweeps his gaze across the room, waiting for any argument. No one dares to defy him, so he continues. Now, regarding the matter of how Mr. Shan knows so much about all of you, that is a private matter between Mr. Shan and me. He glares at each student in a manner that says, this is the end of that discussion. When he sees that they all understand his meaning, he announces, you will find your dorm room numbers and roommate assignments on the wall bulletin board just outside this classroom. All new arrivals are housed on the second floor of dormitory A. Gather your things and proceed to your rooms. Spend some time getting to know your roommates and relax. We will have a late dinner in the dining hall at 8 p.m. tonight for all new arrivals. You are all required to be there to receive additional information regarding your class and subject assignments. Now go. He turns to Yueying and June and says, not you two. Leave your belongings here. I will have someone take them to your dorm room door, where you can get them later. Right now, I want to see the two of you in my office. He turns back to the other students to make sure they're getting their things together and following his instructions. Yueying and June glance over to each other with a quizzical look and then turn their attention back to Dr. Ho, who looks at them and says, "Follow me." They each grab their backpacks and follow the president.